The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
As a small biz pro, that's how we roll. Using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, that's how we grow. Using procurement, program, and control. Hey, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah. Crystal Mitchell, do you have
Good
a business
afternoon,
plan?
everyone.
Just
This is the
review
Business
it.
Zone with and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. And today, this month, Crystal, is Women's Month.
It is, and today is International Women's Day. And so women all over the world are coming together and the campaign this month or for this particular day is balance of life or balance for life. And so making sure that women have received the balance of one, working and creating success for themselves and their families and taking care of their families, being a mother, being a business owner and being an employee, and then having a regular, normal, healthy lifestyle. So it's really important. Sometimes women, we tend to have so many irons in the fire.
And access to the right resources as well.
Sometimes we do, not always.
No, they need to have
they
access.
need to. Yeah, most time not. In fact, just like there is a war on race, there's a war on women right now as well.
Wow.
There's just there are certain people in our culture that only want a certain particular person to win, and they don't look like us. They gender-wise nor color-wise.
Yeah,
and that's the America that we live in today. It represents nothing that the Pledge of Allegiance or the national anthem stands for.
Well, that's why we're going to have to do what we need to do in order to build the resources that we need, and also to provide the assistance that these women need in order to go out there, become leaders, managers, and take care of the tribe. It's really what it is.
And so you know I don't believe none of that, right?
Well, I know you don't, but look at it this way. If we don't do it, then what are we going to do? We're going to wait for someone to do it for us? We got to do it.
I don't believe it's not that we don't do it. I don't think it's not that we haven't been doing it. We have been doing it.
Yeah.
It's just not received. Yeah. We've been doing it. Women have been fighting for equality since the suffrage.
We got to try different styles, different approaches, because just like with us, I mean, we've tried back in the day, we've been trying a lot of things. We come up with our own inventions and people steal them, people shut them down, they do whatever, but we never stopped. We kept going. So it's the same thing for women. We're going to have to just keep on working at different ways. Now, we're trying to do it domestically right now. It's not working for us. We could start looking internationally.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Have to do. It's not just international. We're going to put us internationally.
That's what I'm saying.
I really truly don't think, when you look at what's going on in today's time, you look at white men America, they're fighting for what they feel it should be theirs, and they're not looking to be, they want it to look like it was in the 1600s. And they have the power, they have the privilege, they have the tools that can prevent you from moving forward. And they use them at any given point in time to destroy you. So, at some point, there's a cliche that says, you can continue to do something over and over and over again, and then it becomes insanity. Yeah. And so if you're pushing a snowball up the hill, and eventually you get to a certain place, it keeps rolling back, and it rolls over you. So at some point, you can't keep doing that, because from a psychological standpoint, at some point you give up. Yeah. So then that's when you look at a group of disadvantaged and disenfranchised people who have given up because they've tried and tried and tried and tried, and it doesn't matter. So I don't know what the answer is for this country right now, but I see every single day I turn on the news, there's a standard for some people and a standard for other people.
Which is true. We still got to keep on clicking, though. We still got to keep on doing what we need to do, because otherwise a lot of us are just going to become disenchanted. A lot of us are already disenfranchised. So to become disenchanted along with that, it's only going to lead to depression, frustration, and all of those humiliation, all of those things.
We already got that.
Yeah.
We already got that.
It's gonna get stronger. And
I mean, you have young people killing themselves. Look at the suicide rate.
Yeah.
That's because of that.
Mm-hmm.
You have your children going to school. You've given them everything in the world, and they get to school, and then they try to destroy them. Then they come back, and they have debt, and then they try to find jobs, and they can't find them. Mm-hmm. So they're committing suicide.
Yeah.
Suicide in young people right now is at an all-time high, and it's for that reason.
You know, back in the Caribbean, the same thing occurred, and people couldn't get opportunity. And you know what we did? We would gather about 15, 20 people, right? Because you couldn't really work to get the money. You couldn't do jobs to get the money. So one way of doing it is having people come together, pool the resources, and let's say each person would put in $200 per week, per month, however you do it. Then at the end, one person they call it a draw. Mm-hmm. So that person gets to draw all the money that's put in the pot, and then it keeps circulating. So the person who gets all of that money this week or this month, they get to go invest or purchase whatever they want, because usually they wouldn't have all of that money. They wouldn't have access to it.
Yeah, because they were working together.
Right. Mm-hmm. So they try to make that illegal here, right? but we could try to use a system like that in order to help folks, because other groups use it. You know, they pool their resources, they buy homes, they buy businesses. Mm-hmm. And then they'll pay back the group, as they go along. We can do the same thing too for disenfranchised women. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? I think that would be a good way, instead of keep depending on the dominant culture or whomever else is out there. We can do it among ourselves.
And I think the colonizers come in when it's specifically black people. Mm-hmm. They allow other people to do that. Mm-hmm. They don't do that with black people, and we have to understand why they don't do that with black people. So after slavery, there's a book I'm reading called Collective Courage. So they did do that in that time frame, and that's how you got your unions. That's what that was about. Yeah. So what they did was they came together, they bought farm equipment, they did that kind of stuff so that they could prosper. That's how they actually did prosper. It was pooling their meager pieces, monies together. So what then happened was, after the end of slavery and after the Emancipation Proclamation was signed, about a month or two later, the plantation owners realized that they had lost $25 million. Mm-hmm. So that's the only thing they hear is money. Mm-hmm. And when they lost that $25 million, then you got the Jim Crow laws. And then they were putting you back in servitude, because that's the way they made money. Mm-hmm. That's how they became wealthy. Right. So we're their product.
Right. They owned us back then.
They still do.
Well, kind of.
They do. So when it's about,
not physically,
well, they kind of do, because they can destroy you at any given point in time they want. Uncle Sam can come in and seize your bank account. Yeah. And there you go. You're destroyed.
That's true.
So they prevent you from doing a lot of things. Even when we look at certification, when you look at other races who are either women or whatever, because they benefit, everything that we fought for, somebody else is benefiting from it. They give those contracts to them, but they don't give them to us. They don't give them to us because they don't give us loans to run our bank, to run our businesses. Mm-hmm. They'll give you $500,000 for a house, or $500,000 for a car, they will not give you a $10,000 business loan.
Yeah.
Why? Because if you get that money, now you're going to have a successful business. You're going to hire your own, and you're going to take care of yourself. You're going to have independence.
Yeah.
And there you go. You have no control.
Yeah.
And that's why. I mean, we have to understand what the systematic problems are.
And we also got to come up with some solutions ourselves, and that's really,
leave.
Yeah.
That's the solution. Leave.
Well, if I left, I don't know where I'd go.
You go back to Jamaica. I see this as an abusive relationship. This is just like if I was in a relationship with a man and he was whooping my butt every single day.
Going, hey, you don't have a job?
And,
okay.
and I would just keep sitting there.
I won't give you any money to.
Right. That's how I see this. I see it as an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
And you have to leave. That's the only way you survive an abusive relationship.
It is.
Because they're so blatant about it nowadays. And, I hate it. You hate for it to sound like that, but that's the realities of it. And we have to be real. Mm-hmm. We have to be real, because how many people there's a few that they allow to get to that place. But when they get where they can't control them, then they destroy them. Mm-hmm. We can look back. It's happening right now. Mm-hmm. It happened with Bill Cosby. It happened. They tried to do it with LeBron. Mm-hmm. Michael Jordan. Mm-hmm. They stopped him because they were going to arrest his father for gambling. Anytime, the same thing that anybody else does, anytime they feel you're getting too much control, then that's what happens. They killed Tupac because he was speaking out. Yeah. They killed Martin Luther King because he was speaking out.
Marcus Garvey.
That's why. They control because they're fearful or losing what they feel they work for, but they didn't work for it.
I still feel we can come up with solutions, though, because if the solution means that we're going to market internationally to different nations, Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, if it means we got to do that, then we got to do it. Or Caribbean islands.
Yeah, I say move. To all those same places that you just mentioned, I say move. Take my $1 trillion consumer power and leave.
See, my thing is though, many of those nations, let's choose Jamaica, for example. So the unemployment rate in Jamaica is 40%. It's very rare that you find opportunities there. There are 5% who runs the whole country. 5%.
Right, and they're not people that look like us. They're people that look like others.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So it would still be difficult if, let's say, you move to a nation like that, because the opportunities are still restricted.
Then don't go there. Go to Africa, where there are no restrictions.
But then you're going to have to try to build new relationships, try to establish yourself there. Because they operate, knowing people too. They operate on relationships. Oh, who are you? We don't know you. Where are you from? Oh, are you from America?
Well, you establish those relationships here. Right. With the internet and having the accessibility to online, you can communicate with somebody in Africa just as much as you can communicate with somebody in Florida. Yeah. So you establish those relationships.
I personally believe that's what we should do, though. We should establish those international relationships, start building them from here. Because, even though others are saying what they say, we still have some level of clout being an American. So people want to do business with you because of that.
Right.
So if you can leverage that status and get to do certain types of business, I think we should do that.
Yeah, but I think that we just can't continue to the same process, because I don't think the process is going to change. If the process has not changed in 400 years, what's going to make it today change?
Well, a lot of that, too, is people relying on the system and relying on others. You see what I mean? I mean, you showed me this one black guy, I think it was last week, who was an engineer, and he is the first black billionaire.
He is.
Okay? But that guy was stealth. He was under the radar. Not too many people know about him, because I didn't even know about him until you mentioned him. And then after that, I start doing some research on him. And I'm going, dang, this guy this guy's a star performer, but no one really knows about it.
Well, there are a lot of them. I mean, you look at all of the entertainers. You look at the ball players. You look at the. There are numerous of business owners or black people that have made it, but then they're just as. But it's like a handful compared to the ones that have not. And they're
stealth. They're pretty much stealth. You know, they don't really go out there and advertise or broadcast it. So that's a good way where they maintain that. And then also they invest in a lot of international ventures.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So that's where I'm saying that would, to me, would be the alternative to what we have right now. So it doesn't seem like insanity, that it doesn't seem like we're doing the same thing over and over. It seemed like we're doing something strategically different.
Well, yeah, that would be strategically different. And if you're doing that, then at some point, though, to protect what you have, I think you have to eventually share in where you live. I think you have to have the mobility. I mean, hell, if you're a billionaire, you can go buy a yacht and live in the international waters and nobody can touch you.
That's
but
true.
I think we have to, but when you look at the average individual who's been conditioned to work for somebody else, you know, those are very limited. That's an entrepreneur. Robert Smith is an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And anybody else that makes it to that level, and there's certain opportunities, or they have a talent or a skill that allows them to be able to take that talent and skill and make large sums of money on it. But there's others who are just regular people that looks pretty damn bleak. When you go to school, you do everything that you were supposed to do, and you still can't make it from paycheck to paycheck.
Then again, the way our system is set up, it's set up for failure. Because, for example, many of our kids, when they go to school, they don't learn about entrepreneurship. They don't learn about, trades and skills and that. They don't learn that anymore. They just learn what the system wants them to learn.
They want them to be workers.
Control them, right?
They want them to be workers.
So that's how we got to go disrupt that. We got to disrupt that and start breeding entrepreneurs ourselves.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
That is truly why I spend half of what I do in a philanthropy move to help others be able to, learn to speak their mind. I think the biggest thing for us is when people try to squash your freedom of speech. So, and not tell each other and not research and know where you came from. Because if you understand that about yourself, then they can't keep you quiet.
And you've done a lot in this space, and I would love to see a lot more of that. I'd love to see you establish like a sisterhood where you bring in other sisters who are doing the same thing you're doing. You see what I mean?
But there are not that many people that do that. That's true.
But we could still get them because a lot of them, they don't have access to what you have access to.
Well, no, they do. I've been working with, when I got out of school when I was in my 20s, I started working in Girl Scouts with kids at that time. I have literally worked with young people and other people for over 45 years of my career.
Which is great.
And I know that in that, though, when the things that I've done, getting people to volunteer their time, because that's really what it is, to work for other causes, is just not there. That's not
there. And also, some women who don't do it is because they don't really have the courage to do it. So if you, with what you've learned in your status and what you have, maybe start a sisterhood school, like with the Bellas. I mean, what you guys do with the Bellas is great.
I belong to numerous of sisterhood schools.
That's what I'm saying.
And really, to stop to think about that, that's what the first sororities for.
Right. Well, not really.
Well, I mean, that's really what their purpose is.
Not really.
The deltas, that's their purpose.
No, those are the ones. No, that's not what they're about. I've seen them perform. So my thing is, in order to change the mindset and the way we do business, instead of doing that insanity thing where we do the same thing over and over, what you're doing is great. So if we can start building a sisterhood out of that and start bringing in some of those women who need that encouragement also, and show them.
But we need the same thing on the male side. Look at our
I
male.
know, but because this is Women's Month,
right.
we're talking about
and
women.
I really do think women are, because women are the ones that are in churches. Women are the ones that are nurturing.
Right.
I think when we look at our young men, today, there was something I was watching, saw this week, which is a hot topic as well, is the demasculation of our black men. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden they're all wearing dresses and makeup and all that, and heels.
That happens a lot.
And so, but that's because they're being raised by women, and there's no men to mentor them into being men.
Right.
And so it's easy for you to be distracted, especially if you have a need. Mm-hmm. Everyone has a need to have a male role model, and they have a need to have a female role model in their life. And if that balance is not there, then there's a deficit, and you're subject to become a victim of somebody.
And I get that. But because this month is all about women, I want to see how we can share our wisdom, our technique, our approach to help a lot more women. Because I know there are some women right now who are probably listening to the show, and they're probably wondering, what can I do? So by us sharing some of this stuff, maybe a handful may get encouraged and go, oh, wow. Because that nifty program that you have is phenomenal.
Yeah, it is.
You know, so if we can form more of those programs, and because here's what that program does. It gets the youth, get them thinking about entrepreneurship. Mm-hmm. When we were growing up, we didn't have anyone teaching us about entrepreneurship unless we learned the hard way by watching family members. We didn't have a formal system, a formal process like you have with the Nifty program. So if we get more and more of that, and we get in those young entrepreneurs, and when they win those competitions, you bring them in on the show, you see how it's like energized and enlightened and motivated they are. Mm-hmm. That's what we want to get. We want to get a lot
and for
more
those that are listening, so my very first endeavor to working with kids and helping and mentoring them was the Girl Scouts. Mm-hmm. That was the very first thing I did. And then after I did the Girl Scouts, I had, me personally, I had learned how to ski. And then I saw an opportunity for kids to get out of their 4-block radius of where they live and go see a different world. So I me and some friends, we put together an organization, and we took kids I did that for 15 years. That's one of the reasons I'm not married, because every weekend I had 40 kids that were with me at all given point in time.
Were they all girls? Or?
Boys and girls. Okay. And those kids are now, they went to college. They're now adults going to school. I mean, now they have their own families. They're in their 30s and some late 30s now. And so they're now got good jobs because they went to school on a ski scholarship. Mm-hmm. And so they're doing that. So I've done that. Now I'm in the space for teaching kids on being entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. I sit on a board for Pete Brown, the tennis program, because I love tennis, and it's another opportunity for kids to get scholarships to go to school, because our children are the most invaluable asset on the planet. Mm-hmm. And if we are not reaching back to our children, showing them a way, mentoring them in whatever capacity, then that's on us.
Right.
Because we're not building a place for that. When my nieces and my nephews were boys, my sister and them, they didn't do what I did. I camped, I skied, I hiked, I did water rafting, I did mountain climbing, did all that sort of stuff. I said, the boys, as soon as they're old enough, we're taking them. So those kids have been everywhere, and they've done the exact same thing I did. My reason was because when they went to college, I did not want them to feel inferior to whoever their college mates were.
And I think that's an excellent approach and strategy. I'm just saying that I think if we can get a lot more, again, in the spirit of International Women's Day and Women's Month, if we can get a lot more women, instead of doing things that relies on the system, mm-hmm. do some things that's independent and can be self-generating in terms of revenue and economy, that type of thing. That, I think, we can use to break this mold, because we're in a repetitive cycle right now. We're born. They put us in these schools. We go to school a certain way. They put us in these classes that they think we're supposed to take. We learn nothing about entrepreneurship along the way. Then based on what they tell us, okay, when you graduate, you're going to go get a job.
Right. And you're going to work for me and make me rich.
Until you die.
To make me rich.
To make me rich. Yeah. To make them rich.
Yeah, to make them rich. That's the system.
Yeah.
That's the way the system is designed to do.
So we got to break that. We got to break that cycle. You know?
And I do think, because hey, Everett, hey, James, hey, Thomas, and everybody else, hey, Annette. I do think, because I have a lot of friends that are in the same space that I am, and I think that we are doing that. I do think that the biggest congregating place for us is churches, and they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, because that's really where it's supposed to come from, because that's where everybody spends their Sundays. And you got churches, 10, 15, 20, 30,000 people, and they're not developing that.
And they probably have a different agenda.
And so I think there are people out there doing that they can. You have a lot of women that once they retire, that they start giving back, and that's what they do. They have a lot of organizations. I've spoken at 3 this month, last month alone. I think they are there. But again, if their parents are not entrepreneurial, if their parents have been under the same system, and right now we're kind of in a place where this generation of kids were raised by grandparents, because the war on drugs that took place in all our black communities just devastated our communities. And then when we were starting to rise up from that, then you had the recession, which destroyed us again. So you're constantly, even for those of us that are doing what we're doing, we're still in that place that exterior stuff can lay you out in 10 minutes, because we're only hanging on by a shoestring anyway.
Yeah.
And that's the issue, is that, and I will say that's one of the reasons I'm doing the digital marketing, because we have to get out of the place where our money has to come from a job, or even us. Our money comes from the power of somebody else. Yeah. And so with digital marketing, your money is coming from the big mammoth internet, which could be coming from all over the world. So we have that. I do agree with. We have to be in different places. We have to utilize technology in order to create wealth.
The thing that we probably need to do first is to identify that there are 2 types of people out there. You've got entrepreneurs and you got employees. Entrepreneurs and employees. So once we recognize who the entrepreneurs are, or the people with or entrepreneurial minded, then those are the ones we got to target. You see what I'm saying?
Which is not a proper relation.
And then start working with those. Now, there will be some on the employee side who will probably get energized by what they're seeing over on the entrepreneurial side and want to come over and try too, which is fine. We welcome them. But to break away from this continuous systematic cycle that's going on, that keep oppressing us and keep holding us down and keep arresting us, we've got to break the mold. We've got to start looking outside of that and say, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. And then actually do it.
Yeah, it has to come away. But we have to come outside of the Americas, because the Americas have no desire for you to succeed. They do everything in their power. And, I sit on panels. I sit on the inside, and I purposely sit at the tables where I hear the decisions being made, and I see them going through the motions, but I don't see anything after the motions, I think. And even when you bring them creative ideas, nobody activates.
And we're at the bottom of the hour, and what I think we can do when we come back on the other side, just like you did last week, which kind of really motivated me. I don't know if you realize that you motivated me a lot last week. But what we can do is start looking at some of those entrepreneurial trades that folks can look at. Women can look at and say, hey, I don't want to work anymore. maybe I might want to try these types of trade, these types of industries, see if I can become my own entrepreneur, see if I can break the cycle.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at that. And, when we come back on the other side of the break, and we're on the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. I'm loving this conversation. Take a break.
Small businesses spend more than $500 million each year combined trying to find missing or replace missing paperwork. Hey, small businesses, are you tired of losing out on business opportunities because your paperwork is not in order? And don't you hate having to register in multiple websites just to find a single procurement opportunity that may not even be worth your time? Well, worry no more. Small Biz Pro is the solution to your problems. Small Biz Pro is an all-in-one cloud-based business management, compliance, and procurement assistance software platform that keeps small businesses organized, contract-ready, bank loan-ready, with quick access to procurement opportunities, as well as market research data. Here are some of the features and benefits that you receive when you use Small Biz Pro to run your business daily. Superior record keeping at your fingertips, back office management and compliance, quick access to bids and procurement opportunities in government databases. It allows you to conduct easy market research and gather industry statistics. Government certification preparedness and compliance checklists. Easy HR and general operations management functionality. Bank loan readiness preparation and cash flow management. Certified payroll and labor compliance reporting. Business dictionary with defined business terms. A cloud-based business management platform that keeps small businesses organized and ready, even nonprofits. Business documents securely stored in the cloud. Data fully encrypted and protected by triple firewall reinforcements. On-the-spot document retrieval for quick decision-making. Bank-level data security for compliance. Document expiration alerts and advanced notifications. It uses security restrictions to block out unauthorized users, and much more. Try it out today for only $5 for the first 30 days. What are you waiting for? Go to www.smallbizpro.net and register now, or your competitors will. Small Biz Pro, keeping small businesses organized, business ready, and contract ready.
And I got one question for you, ladies. Who run the world?
So we're back on the Business Zone, and we're having a great conversation here with
me, Crystal.
me.
I'm the angry one today. You angry, Crystal? I'm angry. I'm pissed off at white America.
And actually, Crystal is not angry. She's just passionate today. She's just a little passionate about what we need to do in order to get more women involved in the process. And I totally agree. Just for those of you who don't know some of the statistics on this, over the last 17 years, 65% of the small businesses that are formed by women. Those are women-owned businesses. And that is really great statistics that we need to know. Usually when you have an influx of entrepreneurs or people starting or doing things, there's a reason behind it. You know, a big part of the reason why you're having a lot more female entrepreneurs is, one, they're not happy with their economic status, meaning that the 70% of the dollar that they're getting, they're figuring, hey, that's not fair. That's unfair, and we need to get our fair share. So they're figuring, okay, instead of working for the man, where the man is only giving me 70% of the dollar, and I'm probably working harder than some of these guys who are doing nothing, and they're getting even more than that 70%. They're getting more than 100% of the dollar. Then I figure more or less that we should start doing our own thing. That's what many of these women are saying, and that's why you have the heavy influx of women. Another thing that's pitiful and out there that I really want to put out there to let you guys know is that only 4% of women-owned businesses, women entrepreneurs, get bank loans. 4%. That's pitiful. That's pitiful, okay? And 4.4% of female entrepreneurs get procurement opportunities. 7% of female entrepreneurs get funded by investors. That is pitiful. So we need to do something about that. Now, we're not going to rely on the system to make this happen, Crystal. We're going to do something about it. And that's why we're saying that we need to come up with a system, a self-sufficient system that can really help. And that's how Crystal went out there, did some research, and she came up with some amazing industries that can help women own. You want to tell them a little bit about that?
And, you know, when I worked for corporate America, the industry I was in was the insurance industry. So, of course, you had control over, because you were getting paid via commissions, and I always had a base salary plus commission, so I could make that work the way I wanted to work. But however, during the recession, and I had a game plan. I had no intentions of working for anybody for any long period of time because I'm a horrible employee. So I'll tell you that straight out.
You're a smart employee. That's what you are. You know?
I can't do the 9 to 5. You can't tell me how to think. None of that.
When to take your break.
Yeah, you can't tell me any of that because it doesn't work for me. It just never did work for me. But I went to school and I used them for what I needed. But during the in 2009, when we had the recession, now I have been working in the core of my business is accounting and bookkeeping. So when I lost 65% of my income or my client base at that point in time, so I had an option. I could go work for somebody, or I could stay out here and figure out what other skills I had in order to sell it. So my mom was like, go get a job. Yeah, okay. Go get a job. So when I went to go look for a job at that time, for 30-something years, 30-plus years of experience, they wanted to pay me $10 an hour. I'm like, and the highest I could get was $25. That's how I started my business 30 years ago, was charging hourly rates of $25. Like, why the heck would I do that?
Yeah.
So you didn't totally devalue my experience. Yeah. So a lot of women have found that out, that no matter, and especially after the recession, it was like, you guys are desperate for a job. So therefore, we don't have to pay you anything. So there are literally people that have 4 and 5 jobs just to try to make enough salary. Right. And then they don't have time. They can't spend time with their children. So that's some of the driving force for women, because I think it's very important. One of the things my mom did when I was growing up was, my mom was a nurse, but she had her own sideline gig. She did hair, she sewed, she did all that sort of stuff. But her sacrifice was she went to work at 11 o'clock at night, and so that she would be home for us during the day when we came home from school. So she was always there when we got home. Whereas other women don't have that option. They don't see their kids. Right, they don't, when they get home, their kids are on their way to bed, or they're just latchkey kids. Yeah. And so I think women have more motivation to become entrepreneurial because you don't get valued. Right. And I know when I did work, when I made the leap, I got paid when I actually left, and the people that I was working for became my client. My knowledge base became far more valuable than when I was an employee. Because the same stuff, I was doing the exact same job. Yeah. But they didn't value that as an employee.
I'm curious to know how many women are in the workforce right now.
That's easy.
You see what I'm saying? Because they're not being valued, and if they're not being valued, they're going to take an alternative, and that alternative is entrepreneurship.
Yes,
so I want to know how many are left. You see what I mean?
Working in the workforce?
Yeah, exactly.
There's probably quite a few of them.
Yeah.
Because some women do enjoy their jobs, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, depending on
and they can use it as a base, or I know a young lady who she's a nurse, but she literally has 50 doors that she gets paid for. She's a nurse.
So you got to knock on
she owns real estate property.
Oh.
And her real estate property, they live in Malibu. They have a huge home, but she's not giving up she works at night. She said, why? Yeah. I work at night. It's not in the way. I see my husband. I see my kids. They have an amazing business.
Gig, yeah.
So, she uses that's her 401k. That's our
so
that's
medical.
all of our benefits. And then she says she enjoys what she does, and it's not taken. And then they have the money to invest. So, and the savings is amazing. So there are some people that enjoy what they do.
Yeah.
Just like Bella Network, Alicia. Yeah. Alicia's not there because she has to. She has a lot of income property, but she enjoys what she gives to corporate America.
Right.
She enjoys the type of work that she does. She has a reason for being there. She has a purpose, and she's used that money to fuel other things. Sometimes it's okay.
So what we were talking about earlier is about how we can prevent the status quo, because it's Women's Month. We're promoting Women's Month, so we want to find a different way that women can do things instead of doing the status quo over and over and getting the same negative result.
Just find new ways to reinvent yourself. Like my industry is a solid industry, it's a $1 billion industry, but there are times I have to reinvent myself every so often because things shift.
Right.
So I say identify all your talents.
Give me an example of some of the things you did to reinvent yourself so that you're a step above.
So there are different aspects of fitness or health and wellness. So in terms of, I co-authored a couple of books. So every time I speak, I'm able to speak on health and wellness for free and sell my books in the back of the room.
Right.
Because I co-authored a book. I co-authored 2 books, Unleashing the Leader Within You and Unleashing the Vision with You. Les Brown is in one of those books with us. Whenever Les Brown speaks, he has the book in the back of the room. I get phone calls from the book. So I leveraged my relationships with a few friends. We have 10 authors in each book. Amazing. There was James Millichek, if you ever look him up. He is a speaker, well-known speaker. He gets about $25,000 a talk. He was in Vegas one time. He had a seminar about 1,500 people. My book was there. Not only did I get people calling me trying to date me from that seminar because my picture is in front of my chapter, I got speaking gigs from that. So it's nice to have a book in the industry of health and wellness, as well as not just train, but I do diet and nutrition. Some trainers just train. I do diet and nutrition. It's one of the reasons why I get the results.
Now tell me this, because I observe you doing your exercise on your video, and your exercise routines look a little different than many of the ones I've seen. So what makes you come up with that different style? Of course, we all want to be different, but what makes you do that? And when you introduce that style, how well was it received?
No, you have, if you pay attention, I have Get Up and Move, which is me demonstrating for people that are watching exercises that they may not be familiar with, the proper form, and how to incorporate that into their everyday routine. So you see different levels of fitness. You see me doing my own stuff because people are watching me.
That's
They're watching
what I'm
my
asking
brand.
you. How did you come up with that? I mean, what snapped into your head and said, I got to do this one because no one is doing it?
It's not necessarily no one's doing it. I think there are. I have 3 different ways out there that I'm offering stuff for the public to see that they're doing. I'm offering some free stuff, and then I'm offering them just seeing how athletic that I am. So it's not necessarily. There are a lot of people on there doing burpees. I'm just doing
Don burpees.
Don burpees. There are a lot of people doing monster burpees. So I decided to offer different levels of fitness on my site. That's what I'm doing different than most people. I want you to see me and my athletic ability because that makes people call me to train with me. Usually you train with someone that you like the way they look or there's something about them that you like. So if I market myself in a way that shows both sides, I can meet you right where you are and train you as a beginner so you're not nervous. You see that I can train. I can also dance. I can also do train you as an athlete. So you see all those different levels on my site, which allows me to have a broader audience. So I came up with it just trying to...
You have a broader brand.
Yeah,
just basically you're the brand.
Just trying to reach everyone. So there'll be no one that I can't train. And then I also offer nutritional information on my site as well. So you'll see that I can give you whatever you need. So that was the idea, to not just offer one thing, but to show some diversity so I can get everyone. So I decided when you got scared, all you saw was my jumps. I said, well, let me show him something a little easier. This is exactly how I came up with it. To answer your question,
don't be laughing at me.
I actually did not want to blast you, but since you went there, we're going to go there. After our conversation, I said, let me do something so that my guy can join us. He won't be as nervous. So I started doing baby weights. Baby bicep curls, low impact lunges.
Hey, Laurent, man, you're supposed to have my back on this, man.
I do have your back. So I started doing so that you can see that I can do things that are easy.
I know you're good at what you do. I'm just messing with you.
It's not about being good. I'm just saying that I won't kill you every time.
And I will tell you that when I got there, she you know, there's 4 or 5 of us there. She has each one of us doing whatever works for us.
Yeah.
So, like Thelma Houston, who is older than
everybody in this room.
And
not saying she's old.
Not saying she's old, but the lady is.
But she looks like she's 20.
Yeah, she is back.
Amazing.
She does. So she's lifting heavier weights than I do. She's doing she can go through a burpee like nothing. I'm over there going, oh my God, can we just get through these 15?
I'm messing with her.
But I think. One is having a passion, and I think you're right. Identifying what your skills are is really important.
Yeah.
Even when I teach kids how to become entrepreneurs, that's the first part of the course, is identifying what you're good at. Because usually there's something in your bag of talents and skills you can make money off of, and then you have to then kind of cultivate their mind to think in a way that is more entrepreneurial than it is. And if you catch them young enough, and you have to be creative. And it's funny because, I started this week with teaching the challenge. We're doing the $5,000 entrepreneurial challenge. So the kids that we pulled in were kids that were in our summer program, but now they have to work as a team. They have to collaborate as a team, right? So I've already taught this curriculum to them. It was fast-paced, but I've already taught it. So I had to get a little creative about it. But I've been talking, and there's 7 other schools and organizations that are doing this challenge as well. So Cassie Betts, that was here. So Cassie is doing it as well. And then Leo Combine, he's an instructor for the Brotherhood Crusade. So they're reading, because this is their first time being introduced to the nifty curriculum, right? So they're like, well, Krista, the kids are bored. And he says, so what do you do that they're not bored? Well, one of the things I did for our first class was there was a movie, and I use everything. I'm always scouring the internet and whatever comes in, and I incorporate that into whoever I'm talking to. So there was a movie that was previewed on HBO called The Boy That Harvest Win last week on HBO. And it's about this little African boy. He was 14 years old, and his town was they were already about to die from starvation because they were going through a drought. So he started looking around the junkyard for he found a fan from a tractor, and he made a turbine out of thrown junk. I mean, literally junk, so that he could create a windmill so that they could generate enough water so they could create their own irrigation system. And so when I showed them that, they're like, oh my God. And then I had to bring it to them. It's like, okay, so imagine you saw where they lived. It was all dirt. Digging with very crude and rudimentary tools. There's no supermarket. The only vehicle they had was a bicycle. And then they had to use the bicycle in order to use it for the turbine. So now they had no bicycle. And it was miles. So I said, so now just imagine, how do you eat? There's no potato chips in the pantry. There's no fruits, no vegetables, no anything. And they literally only had this pile of meal that they had ground up from corn, which they had to create the meal out of that. And they're like, oh my God. But it got their mind to thinking. And so I think from an adult standpoint, like Dawn, she was able to take not just one part of her industry and create a full menu of skills that you sell when you need to. Yeah. The same thing with you.
And what you guys both describe is what I want us to portray to our audience. Because we're talking about not having to do the status quo.
Yeah.
Doing the same thing over, getting the same ridiculous result, that's not helping us. So by us being creative and different and identifying that differentiator or those differentiators that will set us apart is really what's going to get us the results we need. So what you did is phenomenal. That's amazing. It's different. And, I know I kind of kid with you and say, you did that different. Yeah. But that was helpful. That's necessary. And that's your differentiator. What you do with those kids and the story you just told is phenomenal. So the women that we're trying to get to become entrepreneurs is the same thing we're trying to do, to get them to see that, hey, we don't want you to go to the Bank of America, the Wells Fargo, trying to get a loan or line of credit because we know they're going to slam the door in our face. Let's find some other ways of doing this. And part of that is like pooling our resources, give them a loan ourselves or whatever. Right.
And that's actually the goal that I have. They don't know this, but my goal for the whole entrepreneurial thing, once Armin brought it to me, was if someone can make even $20,000 a month that has nothing to do with their business, then that $20,000 could be invested in other businesses, right? Yeah. Or it could be invested. You can. In that little network we're building, you could pool your money together and buy real estate and have those doors, because you got to start somewhere, right? Yeah. And then, or use some of that money to and learn how to buy stocks and sell stocks and so forth, and invest in some tech businesses. But you have to have something to work with.
Yes.
I think you have to just be a risk taker. Most people are afraid to take risks.
As an entrepreneur,
and sometimes you find out, because we're talking about women that aren't entrepreneurs, step out and be risk takers. Just give something a try, because sometimes you find out that there is some talent there. Think outside the box, and just be willing to try something. And it's okay to try something different.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Or just jump in the water, even if you can't swim. Just jump in with both feet and say, I'll figure it out.
Can't be afraid. Give it a try. Because a second income of $50 is better. $50 a month that passively grows, that compounds every month. Put your head down in a year, it can turn into $1,000 and $2,000, $3,000. It doesn't have to be quick. Just something slow and steady, because slow and steady wins the race. So don't be afraid to give something new a try.
Right. I think that's good.
I know there was a young lady that came into our digital class. She just recently, she just came in, and I want to show you guys. She and her husband were doing, now they're kind of creative, because for a while there, they had an eBay business, and they were going out. First, they took everything around their house and cleaned it up and started selling it on eBay. And then after that, they started going out to liquidation centers and purchasing items, and then they were selling that. But now that's kind of died down, and then they were doing it on Amazon. So then she was writing a blog, mainly because they're doing the keto diet, and so she recognized that they didn't know how to eat that way, because that's not like really super easy to do. So
actually, it's easier than you think.
Oh, okay. So so she wrote this. So she was already doing a blog. She just didn't know how to make it work, how to make money. She knew nothing about that. So when when she found out about that, she came. So she did her first blog, And let me show it to you guys. They did a phenomenal job on their blog. And they already start making money. Oh, I got to get into it. They've already started making money with AdSense. And they just started that last week.
That's great.
And her husband, he's doing the videos, and they're using their iPhones. And so this is her blog. So now everybody's all enthusiastic and excited about her.
The people in the class?
In the classroom.
That's good.
And so when we, so this is her blog now. And her recipes.
So those pictures are taken by the husband?
No, they took their own pictures. Okay. And her thing, this is the husband and wife, David and Renee. And so she has a sweet tooth, and she had to find some way to still satisfy that, but still eat healthy. And David, he actually acts, so he does the videos, and he's really, really good at it. So now his husband and wife are taking their skills. She puts the blog together, and then she edits the video, and then he does the videos for them.
That's good.
So everybody and it was, she didn't know anything about any of this until a couple of weeks ago.
That's risk taking right there. That's risk taking.
Exactly, and just writing. And there was about four or five of them produced their blogs this past week, and the whole goal is, to be able to generate your revenue that's above and beyond what you do, but at the same time marketing your business. That's
the kind of thing I'm talking about. That's going to help us to get out of this little
you gotta be
oppressive
creative.
zone that we're in right now, and try to be different. And part of being different and being a risk taker is, hey, we're not just going to market our product and services here. We're going to go international. We're going to go to Nigeria. We're going to go to Ghana. We're going to go to those different nations, because those are markets just waiting for us. They're just waiting for us. So that's the kind of thing I'd like you to do. Before we take our next break, can you go to those occupations or career entities that
passive income?
That people are thinking about, or if it's going to take a while, we can let you look at that while we talk about something else. But I think that will really help some of our listeners to tap in, because I know there's people out there right now going, I hate what I'm doing right now. I want something else.
That's probably half of working America hates what they do, especially when, and you listen, you hear them, and it's funny because, Don and I have, much more of a flexible schedule, but the other people there are a couple of people that are in the morning class, and it's like they got to hurry up, and they're like, I got to get to work, and so their mind about 6:45 is about got to get to work, and then she and I are laughing and talking and going on, and we don't have that pressure. That to me is probably the most valuable part of being an entrepreneur, is to be able to map your own time. Now, granted, we're busy because when I leave here tonight, I got to write a proposal. I got a meeting tomorrow for the tennis thing, so I got to put together the agenda. And I'll be up to probably 1:00 in the morning, but
if you put all the hours we work in a day together, it still adds up to about 8 hours.
Yeah.
We have breaks in between the day that people don't understand, because I get all the time, you work too much. And I say, I don't work that much more than you, because I have breaks in the middle of my day.
Yeah.
Yours is just put together all day. I have small breaks. I get to enjoy a little bit of me, and then I get back to work. So we're not overworked.
No, we're really not, because you can control. No. I remember when I was coming out of working world, and I said corporate world, and I told them, and I wanted to go part-time first, and so they were like, well, I don't know. I said, well, let me break it down to you how this really works. So I come in at 8:00 in the morning. I go around chit-chatting to everybody until about 8:15. Then I start working from 8:15 to 10:00. Then I go off for a break, and then I come back 15 minutes later, and then I go to lunch. And because I've been here for 15 years, and I may not even come back at 1:00. I may take an hour and 15 minutes because I got it like that, right? So now that's an hour and 15 minutes. Then I come back and I go back at 3 o'clock. I go back for another break and I'm gone for 15, 20 minutes and then it's 5 o'clock. I said, so you know what? If I do half a day, then you're going to get all of that time frame.
Yes,
so that really maps out to 4 hours, 5 hours at max, right? And forget the breaks, forget the lunch.
What did they say?
That's exactly what they did. It made sense.
What did they say? What did they say?
Let me do it. It made sense. I said, you will get me my 100% divided attention for that 5 hours.
Yeah, because they see that they're saving money now.
Right. So other than that, you got to pay me for that. That's the law.
And most people are afraid of losing benefits. Yeah. So if you went part-time and kept some of your benefits, you can have some business benefits part-time and launch out on this entrepreneurial thing, then you'll win. You have the best of both worlds.
Just got to be creative.
Because my insurance is expensive for me as a single person. My health insurance is expensive as an entrepreneur. It really is. In some cases, I do. There are times when I was building my career, when I was building my business, there was times when I wished I had a 9 to 5. I never worked for a gym. Sometimes when you work for a gym and you leave the gym, you carry all that clientele with you because they're there for you. Yeah. You could be in a better position than you're in with me. Yeah. If you go into the gym twice a week and you kept a job at a gym twice a week, it fuels your personal training. Right, exactly. So there's some benefits in having a job, depending on what career you're at. Yeah. I have a young man who works as a graphics designer for a company, but it's also fueling his individual job. Yeah. So you look at jobs differently and step out on faith and try it. It'll work.
Very good point there, audience. Very good point. We're at the top of the hour. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. When we come back, I'm going to be talking about certifications, and I want you small businesses to look at certification a different way. I'm going to show it to you a different way that you can approach it, and you can immediately start pursuing contract opportunities. So after the break, on the other side of the break, we'll talk about certification. Take a break.
Small businesses spend more than $500 million each year combined trying to find missing or replace missing paperwork. Hey, small businesses, are you tired of losing out on business opportunities because your paperwork is not in order? And don't you hate having to register in multiple websites just to find a single procurement opportunity that may not even be worth your time? Well, worry no more. Small Biz Pro is the solution to your problems. Small Biz Pro is an all-in-one cloud-based business management, compliance, and procurement assistance software platform that keeps small businesses organized, contract-ready, bank loan-ready, with quick access to procurement opportunities, as well as market research data. Here are some of the features and benefits that you receive when you use Small Biz Pro to run your business daily. Superior record keeping at your fingertips, back office management and compliance, quick access to bids and procurement opportunities in government databases. It allows you to conduct easy market research and gather industry statistics. Government certification preparedness and compliance checklists. Easy HR and general operations management functionality. Bank loan readiness preparation and cash flow management. Certified payroll and labor compliance reporting. Business dictionary with defined business terms. A cloud-based business management platform that keeps small businesses organized and ready, even nonprofits. Business documents securely stored in the cloud. Data fully encrypted and protected by triple firewall reinforcements. On-the-spot document retrieval for quick decision-making. Bank-level data security for compliance. Document expiration alerts and advanced notifications. It uses security restrictions to block out unauthorized users, and much more. Try it out today for only $5 for the first 30 days. What are you waiting for? Go to www.smallbizpro.net and register now, or your competitors will. Small Biz Pro, keeping small businesses organized, business ready, and contract ready.
And I got one question for you, ladies. Who run the world?
So we're back on the Business Zone, having a great conversation here with
Crystal,
Don,
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic.
So Gilbert, how can we look at certification differently than the traditional way it's given to us, or someone tells us about it? Because most of our businesses don't even know they can become certified.
That's true. And this is a great question, Crystal, because many of our small businesses, they think that to become certified, you got to be a contractor, you got to be in the construction industry. And that's a myth. That's a big myth, because the government purchases everything. They purchase everything you can think of: pens, plants, clothing, you name it. Everything that we do, the government purchases, because they have so many different departments. The county of Los Angeles has 37 different departments that they need to service. Mm-hmm. And it includes DCFS, Department of Child and Family Services. So think about that. If they have children that they're taking care of, what do those children need? Mm-hmm. They need a lot of the things that they would get at home. Right. And I wouldn't call her a client, but an associate of mine. She provides services for the county. And you know what that services are? What? That service is providing feminine hygiene products.
Oh, for the kids that are in foster care?
To the county. Mm-hmm. Who would have thought about that?
Well, I think that anything that they use pens and pencils and trash cans, and tires for cars and that kind of stuff, because they don't, they need as much as anybody else needs.
Yes. So I want people to start getting into that mode of thinking that whatever you buy for yourself, toilet paper, paper towel, the county needs that too. The city needs it. The state needs it. So that's how I want him to start looking at certification differently. Oh, okay. And not just as a contractor, you're in a construction trade, so we're looking for electrical, concrete, flooring guy, or roof guy. No, this is stuff that we need to live. And the certification that I want to talk about, before I talk about that, the county right now, they've got $3.9 billion that they're trying to find small businesses to procure. $3.9 billion. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. And they've been reaching out all along, and they cannot find enough small businesses. So that's why we really want to do that. So this certification that I want to talk about real briefly, it's called Small and Local Business Certification. Any one of us here at this table can become certified for that certification. Mm-hmm. Anyone who is an entrepreneur who operates a business within the city of Los Angeles can get that certification. Anyone, as long as they have a business license. So there are three things you need in order to get the small and local business certification with the city of Los Angeles. One, you got to have a business license with the city of Los Angeles. Okay. Two, you got to file your tax return for last year, and you cannot have made more than $3 million.
That's easy.
You see what I'm saying? Me. Right?
I'm disqualified.
You're disqualified, huh?
That works.
And the third one is your company must be located within the county of Los Angeles.
Okay, well, everybody can.
You see what I'm saying?
Qualify for that.
So most people I know who are entrepreneurs within the city of Los Angeles, they qualify for that, but they don't know. Mm-hmm. They don't know. So I want small businesses to think of this. This is a way that you're going to change your revenue stream for this year. So let's say you made $50,000 last year. I want you to make a pledge that you're going to make at least $100,000 this year using these certifications. So the certification is a one-page form, a one-page document that all it does, it asks you for where you live, what your business license number is, do you have employees, did you make more than $3 million last year, and that's it. You fill out that form, and once you fill out that form, you attach the answer to those three questions to it. Your copy of your business license, a copy of your tax return for last year to show that you didn't make more than $3 million. And on your tax return, it's going to show your address. It's going to show that, hey, I live within the county of Los Angeles. Right. So, bam, there you go. Mm-hmm. That's all they need. Now, why do you need to do this certification? Well, this certification is a preference-based certification. So, when you submit for a bid on this using this certification, let's say your competitors submit, say, $100,000, and you submit $110,000. Because you're certified in this program, you're going to get a discount of 10% from that bid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 10%. So they take off 10% from the other person's bid, right? Mm-hmm. So well, they take out 10% from your bid, make your bid 10% smaller than that. Then when you win the bid, they add it back to it.
Oh, okay.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you both bid $100,000. They took 10% off. So now your bid is $90,000. The other guy is $100,000. But when you get awarded a contract, you get awarded a contract at $100,000. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm talking about. These are very, very easy certifications. And then the certification, it only takes about 2 to 3 weeks for you to get it. Okay. 2 to 3 weeks. Once you complete that one-page form, submit it to the city of Los Angeles, takes 2 to 3 weeks. Then you got to be registered in the BaVin system, LA BaVin system, which is in Small Biz Pro. You can just go there and register to be in that system. Mm-hmm. Now you can start looking up bid opportunities. And when you go to Small Biz Pro and you look for the city of Los Angeles, mm-hmm. you will see at least 150 opportunities every day, at least. And then that's where you see, hey, I'm looking for clothing. I'm looking for someone to do exercise. Mm-hmm. I'm looking for someone to make a tape. I'm looking for someone to do whatever, do hair. All of those things they ask for. And that's really where it is. Mm-hmm. So all you got to do is just go there, apply for those opportunities, because most of the times, one, most people don't know those opportunities exist. Right. And two, your competition is not that much.
Right.
So that's what I'm trying to say. We're trying to get women, and since this is Women's Month, we want to get more women involved in this process, becoming certified, applying, becoming entrepreneurs, getting your business license, and going after these opportunities.
And you're absolutely right. I started my QuickBooks classes last week, and so there's a young lady in the class that she was teaching, I think, at one of the schools or something, and then she wanted to come out of it. So she went to some conference, met this guy who was providing workshops on sexual harassment and hiring and mm-hmm. all the stuff, HR kind of stuff mm-hmm. For employers. And so he was doing it for the county and for the foster parents. So he taught her how to do it, mm-hmm. and so that's their business today. Yeah. And so they go out and they do training for the county, for the foster care industry.
Exactly.
And she didn't know what and the interesting thing is she's not very technical. Mm-hmm. And so she even has difficulties putting together a PowerPoint. Right. Mm-hmm. And so she was hiring someone to do her PowerPoints, and then she would just read off. So it wasn't even like she had the skills to do that. Right. She came into the class and says, "Crystal, I am not tech savvy at all. So I'm going to teach her how to use QuickBooks online and get her savvy because the money comes in so consistently. Yes. She's not even waiting 30 days. She waits 15 days when she invoices.
That's another advantage.
So she's getting paid, but because it's consistent, mm-hmm. she's not necessarily tracking. She doesn't.
What's consistent?
The money coming in.
The money coming in is so consistent that she just puts it on a spreadsheet. She hadn't even been...
Money coming in from what? Her doing...
From her training.
Because
she puts her invoice in. She puts her invoice in. 15 days later, the money comes out. So almost that's like a paycheck,
right? Oh, yes. And that's one of the advantages that I'm saying, that many of these women-owned businesses, you can break away from this employment world and go into the entrepreneurial world because there's money waiting. Mm-hmm. There's money waiting. You know, and then also, I think you mentioned one thing about her not being tech savvy.
Yes, she went. Okay.
What type of business does she have?
She's a trainer.
What kind of trainer?
HR.
Okay, that's the part I missed. Okay.
Harassment, sexual harassment. Mm-hmm. So she has the pamphlets and the information. And like I said, she hired someone to do her PowerPoint. Yeah. But I think recently something happened. She had to do a training. And because she wasn't tech savvy, she relied on this other person to do it. And they put the wrong video in. And it was not an appropriate video for the school district of who she was doing this. And so it it was a big fallout, and she had to. So I told her, I said, so you do realize that's why you have to learn how to do your own, or at least review it, know how to go through it before you get up there, and then all of a sudden, a video's playing, and you're like, oh my god, and you don't, and she goes, and I didn't know how to stop it. I didn't know what to do to stop it,
especially if there's kids around,
right? Well, it was actually for the workers, the foster care workers, but it was presented by the presented to the administration and the workers, and they were like, and it was pretty graphic, as to the far extreme of what the new sexually harassed, and because they were having problems, it was like it did not go over well. So she goes, and I didn't know how to stop it. I was like, oh my god!
And when they went through their selection process and chose her as a consultant, they probably have a list, and on that list maybe 2 people.
Yeah,
you see what I mean? So that's what I'm saying to folks out there, that don't rule yourself out saying that, hey, I'm not going to get this opportunity, I'm not smart enough, whatever, because you never know what that situation may be, why they choose you. There may not be anyone else for them to choose. And they're going to go ahead and choose you. So,
absolutely. Good point.
Yeah, so go for it.
But I think also, though, from an entrepreneur standpoint, you do have to be a bit of a go-getter.
Yes.
And you have to be able to see an opportunity that really, truly doesn't exist. And then your mind has to take and go, okay, but how can I do X, Y, and Z with it? And how can I make money? So I think that's the initial part.
Well, I think that can be developed. Just like you step out on faith, you make those first initial steps to say, I'm going to give this a try. Be a risk taker, right? Just like in exercising. A lot of people come in a little apprehensive. They're like, oh, it's going to take a whole lot of work. Get them to some results in the first 2 weeks or so, and then all those other things come up. They start becoming, oh, okay, I'm going to go after this. So the idea is I was in network marketing. Love network marketing because it showed me who I was. I got that first check in network marketing, and I turned into a beast. So the job in network marketing is get them, when someone comes into network marketing because there's such a bad for it. People think of a pyramid instead of incorporating the efforts of other people that are doing the job all the time. But so the idea is when you get your first rep, you got to show them how easy this business is. Get them a check in their first 30 days or they're gone. You get them a check in their first 30 days, a good check, at least get them their money back, and then they're like, this thing works, and they're sold. You got them. So you get somebody to be a risk taker. Just try something, and then they get a check. I think all those other things will start to develop over time. Ain't nothing like having a check.
And I think that's really what we need to do in order to start garnering and fostering these female entrepreneurs so they can get to the next level. Because we already know that the market is infiltrated by 65% of them. 65% more. So now we just got to position them in a way where they're going to be getting the benefits from whatever lender we want to use, whatever contract providers, and start building them. So,
and I think you're absolutely right, because that is exactly what we're doing in the Digital Entrepreneur Network, is to garner. And so I told, and it's going to take a little while, right? But I suggested to them, become an affiliate. Go out there and get your affiliate. And if you have some close friends and they're going to buy a book, they go through you to buy that book. So at least they see their first little few dollars, right?
Speaking of that, you and I need to do some purchasing to get this affiliate thing going. So.
So you, because when you see money coming in from other resources, then it's beneficial. Like with my Bluehost, obviously I have a captive market. And so I've made about $700 just in that, but that's a captive market. And I haven't even written the first word about that, but I did get an email recently last week from Bluehost saying, okay, let me show you some ways to increase that. And we'll even increase it by $10. And so they're reaching out to me.
That's good, because they see you're bringing in
because they see it coming in. And and now we're getting ready to take that out on the road.
That's good.
And so those new people won't be quite as coddled as our current people, because they were our pilot group. So now, okay, you guys go home, go get your domain now, so that'll be more and more and more.
And you haven't even wrote your blog yet on that.
And I have my blog.
See what I'm saying?
And actually, I haven't even published my blog, but I haven't put it out there. So this weekend, I got about 4 or 5 BusinessZone episodes, and I had to go in and put in some verbiage.
Let me see what your blog looks like now. What's the name of your blog?
My blog is the Business Zone. It's called the Business Zone Live.
Right.
I still got to get some pictures that will do the backside of it, but I have. I don't know why the internet is weird today.
Yeah, it's giving me that little question
you
mark
too?
on mine.
Yeah, it's kind of weak today. Yeah, and I didn't even bring mine on.
Yeah, I tried to.
You tried to get it. Yeah, it's weird. It's kind of off today.
Yeah,
let me do some things, but not all. So I'll start publishing. I'll put it out for everybody to see it. So and that will give us because we have the content for the show, and I break it up in 2 episodes. Then it'll be out there doing its own trending thing, but. For people that are looking for, and that's one of the passive incomes we're talking about, which could be beneficial for what you're talking about as well. Because if you have an e-commerce site, you're already reaching out to sell certain products. And it doesn't have to be your product. It'd be products that are already out there that you put on your site. Because you see that all the time. You know, that halo light. Look how many people sell that halo light. eBay sells it. I mean, there are individuals that are doing the blogging and the online stuff. They're selling it as well. So you can find a product that is, somebody else is selling, and you buy it wholesale, and then you sell it.
Right.
So,
exactly.
So how does that work? So let's say I have my site. Let's say it's a Buchanan site. And I want to get 100 different products on the site.
Then you're writing your blog about why.
Oh, it's in the blog.
I mean, because that's how you got to drive the traffic, right?
Got to do the blog.
Unless you, in your case, you have your captive audience of because you do so many training classes, you could then send them, let's say, books. Let's say you wanted to recommend a numerous number of books to back up what you're talking about. Then you send them to your Amazon to go get the book here, or go to your website, because that's where your link is, and get that book, and that'll help you when you're not here with me. If you don't have your own product. Now, Dawn has a product, so she's doing the same thing. But if you don't have a product, then that's how you can do that.
That's good.
Because we're always referring. I mean, she would be referring exercise equipment and nutritional protein powders, because she's always yelling that we got too much sugar in ours. So then we buy the one that she wants us to buy, right? And then clothing and that kind of stuff. And that's really, the retail part of any business is really the bread and butter. Right. And if people...
That's where you make more money.
That's where you make more money. And most people, if you have a following, it's like you become God anyway. It's like, well, Crystal said, and I hear that all the time. Dawn said, and I'm sure you get it, Gilbert said. So it's easily to convert those into sales. Because they believe in you. They have confidence in you. And lately I've noticed that when you build that strong brand, that even when you might be a little lackadaisical in converting the sale, they force it to happen. They call you like, wait, I want to pay you. When can I pay? Invoice me.
That happened to me many times.
Right? Because you're so busy. We may be so busy, we may not get to.
Don't you want to take this money?
Right, exactly. It's like, oh man, I want you to be my client. So you're like, oh yeah, okay, I'm doing it. So, but that's when that's when your brand is working.
Yeah. So we definitely want our female entrepreneurs listening to the show today to really realize that what we're trying to do with you is to take you out of that box. We want you to operate outside of the box. Do something different. Don't do the same things and expect the same result that's been happening over the years, which is not getting you to where you need to be. Crystal has done it. She's done some great things. Dawn has done it. So it's your turn. Your turn. Now, we've given you a lot of, I don't know if Crystal, you haven't found those.
Yeah, I found it.
Oh, so Crystal found some occupation or some career and some industries that you can target right now, that you can try to make some money, some passive income. And Crystal talked about it last week. I jumped on one of them. Saturday, the next day, I went looking pricing. Machines.
Pricing. The laundromat is definitely a big one.
And I'm going to do it.
And then this one, and I actually did a consult with a guy on Monday, and so his kids are moved out of the house, so I have a 2-bedroom, and so while we were sitting there was a foreign student that was in school that his son knew that needed a room, so he was renting out a room. So that's one of the options is to rent out.
That's one of the easiest.
That's an easy one, right? Because a lot of people, especially older people, one, it would be great company for them, and once you do the background check, I mean that's why Airbnb is so popular. But even once you do your background check, your house is not sitting empty and it's making money for you. We sometimes we think that we just gotta pay that mortgage all by ourselves. But if somebody was in there and they weren't, probably your children weren't paying rent, but fix it up and let them move in. Yeah. And I think even from a business standpoint, if you are renting a office building, or even if you own the office building and maybe you're not doing the same business you were when you bought the building, why not lease it out?
That's my point. That is my point. And the SBA, if you purchase a brand new building through the SBA, they allow you to occupy 51%, and the other 49% you can lease it out.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what needs to happen. I went over and I did not know this, and I have been going over to Vermont Slauson. So, Vermont Slauson is a big space, but all of that space in the back, they're renting out to offices. I mean, to small businesses.
Yes.
I never knew that was going on.
And that supermarket in the front?
Yeah, that's theirs. I knew about this because that's really what they were into is real estate. That's really their deal.
I think of all the nonprofits that I come across, I think they're one of the most progressive ones because they generate their own money. They don't have to depend on grants and all of that to survive.
Yeah, no, because they have the real estate. They own both of those shopping centers. But actually, Marva was selected. That was from the urban planning.
That's her concept.
Yeah, well, she was an urban planner, and they selected her to run the Vermont Slauson.
That's amazing.
And so that was early, a long time ago. Yeah. So she was well set up. Yeah. So for a long time they never did have funding outside of that. So another thing is, if we're going to stay in the real estate area, and we kind of talked about this, there's one called Realty Shares. You can do an investment of $5,000. So you get you've got to add an extra zero to get started. Because the fundraise, and I think we talked about that, was $500. This is $5,000, and you do get to choose which property you'd like to invest in. So there's more control on this platform, and instead of relying on the performance of the entire platform, you can do better or worse. So this is a good idea for people that want to get their toes wet in real estate, and they don't have a full down payment, but they want to see what that looks like.
So is it $5,000 one time?
It's a minimum investment of $5,000. So let's see what.
So do you have to do it like monthly or every other month?
I think it probably, whether you choose to invest in one of these modern, keep in mind that since these are private funds and not stocks, you won't be able to liquidate your investment in assets, your cash right away. Depending on your investment, plan to see your money tied up anywhere from 6 months to 5 years. However, you're likely to still receive monthly or quarterly payments. So I guess if they're trying to get that down payment, right, somebody, and then they have people investing into this, it's called a real estate investment trust. Right. So you're investing in that trust. So let's say maybe 5 people put in $10,000 and there's a $50,000 down payment. Yeah. Then now you're invested in that building.
So this is much better than timeshare. Because when you do timeshare, you're putting your money in, monthly, and you're getting nothing out of it.
Yeah, you get nothing out of timeshares, I think. I think the only way to make it.
I never understood timeshare.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
and then someone the other day told me I could sell my timeshare. Yeah. But you have a timeshare with several different people, so you selling just your little portion. Yeah. To somebody else. Yeah.
Well, you actually, but you really don't own it. You're kind of leasing it. It's like rent. Because you can't go there every weekend.
She told me the other day she owns a timeshare, so you own it.
Yeah, you own it because you paid for it.
Okay.
But you can't go there whenever you want to.
I don't get it. This is what I don't get. It just never made sense to me.
Yeah, you can't, right?
We're at the bottom of the hour.
That you own.
Let's take another quick break right now and come back to this because Crystal has some great opportunities here that I really want you guys to listen to. So we're on the Business Zone with
Crystal,
Don,
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. Take a break.
Small businesses spend more than $500 million each year combined trying to find missing or replace missing paperwork. Hey, small businesses, are you tired of losing out on business opportunities because your paperwork is not in order? And don't you hate having to register in multiple websites just to find a single procurement opportunity that may not even be worth your time? Well, worry no more. Small Biz Pro is the solution to your problems. Small Biz Pro is an all-in-one cloud-based business management, compliance, and procurement assistance software platform that keeps small businesses organized, contract-ready, bank loan-ready, with quick access to procurement opportunities, as well as market research data. Here are some of the features and benefits that you receive when you use Small Biz Pro to run your business daily. Superior record keeping at your fingertips, back office management and compliance, quick access to bids and procurement opportunities in government databases. It allows you to conduct easy market research and gather industry statistics. Government certification preparedness and compliance checklists. Easy HR and general operations management functionality. Bank loan readiness preparation and cash flow management. Certified payroll and labor compliance reporting. Business dictionary with defined business terms. A cloud-based business management platform that keeps small businesses organized and ready, even nonprofits. Business documents securely stored in the cloud. Data fully encrypted and protected by triple firewall reinforcements. On-the-spot document retrieval for quick decision-making. Bank-level data security for compliance. Document expiration alerts and advanced notifications. It uses security restrictions to block out unauthorized users, and much more. Try it out today for only $5 for the first 30 days. What are you waiting for? Go to www.smallbizpro.net and register now, or your competitors will. Small Biz Pro, keeping small businesses organized, business ready, and contract ready.
And I got one question for you, ladies. Who run the world?
And we are back with the Business Zone with Crystal.
And Gilbert Buchanan.
Don.
And Don. Everybody wish Don a happy birthday.
Hey, it's your birthday.
Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to me. I don't know yet.
Don is having her birth celebration on Tuesday.
All right.
So
That is good.
Now this is something interesting, and I thought about this today. My girlfriend of Kari Lou says happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
My best
Carla.
girlfriend who I've known for over 30 years, her birthday was March 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
One
One of your best girlfriends.
One of my best girls was.
Don't get hurt up in here.
That was long term. I've known her for about 35
She's so
years.
territorial.
I know. And then Rhonda Santafort.
Yes,
her
when's her birthday?
birthday was.
August, right? Isn't
No,
it?
she was February. She's a Pisces, though. She was February 29th.
Really? I gotta call her.
And then my other friend, Vita, she was the 29th.
Okay.
And now you.
Yes.
And these are people that I've done business
12.
with and partnered with.
And I think Pisces are so amazing. I'm not really into signs because I think when you know Jesus, everybody kind of changes. But anyway, Pisces are amazing. We're some amazing creatures. And I'm the one that swims upstream or against the current. That's me.
Yeah, I have some that go the other way. Yeah, I have some that go the other way. And they're like, okay, what planet are you on? But my girl, my Daisy, we swim on the same, in the same tank.
I think you and I swim the same way, even though you're not a Pisces. We swim the same way.
Yeah. Well, that's
Pisces are absolutely amazing people.
Yeah, Pisces, I have always gotten along with them. So just a little trivia for you to know.
So now that we've heard about the Pisces, let's hear about this opportunity.
So the next one is, and this is for those individuals that are looking for passive income.
Yeah.
Because this could be the biggest thing that happens for our businesses is that they don't have capital to run their businesses. So this is a way to create your own capital without having to worry about somebody else. You having to go apply for a loan. This is yours. There's no loan. You don't have to get it. This is dividends. So this one is called Roof Stock. Investing in real estate rental properties is one of those passive income ideas that can be extremely intimidating, especially when it comes to finding tenants. Roof Stock lets you buy property with as little as 20% down that already have tenants living in them. And this means you're getting paid first day of your investment. You don't even have to physically visit the properties. And it's an ideal strategy. It's ideal if you live in the area where the property real estate prices are too high to realistically invest in. So that's us in California.
Does it tell you how to get into those properties? Or?
I'm sure if we went to, if our internet was more stable today, it would tell us. So I'll send it over and we can do some research. But it will tell you how to do that. So that's how you can invest in. And another opportunity, another option, and this one I know my brother-in-law is very interested in this, is consider starting your own real estate investment group. There's some very successful real estate investment groups out there, and they're run extremely well by very learned individuals and people that have a lot of experience in buying real estate. And so those groups are a good way to get your foot wet and not have to come up with so much money and while you're getting adapted to that real estate passive marketplace. And then the others, of course, there are a lot of apps now that where you can actually invest in the stock market using pennies, and it takes your change, and you just set it up, and it goes whatever change it might be. You know, let's say you spent something for $14.99, and with tax and whatever is $14.53. So it takes the 53 cent and reinvests it, so it evens out whatever monies that you're depositing, and it takes your change, and over time it can build up into some. And
that is neat. That is neat.
So there's a number.
Because I know when I get my change, I just throw it either on the couch in the drawer or whatever.
Do you know? Listen, you know the lady at the gym that gets the plastics. Okay, so there was a time until I saw what she was doing at the gym. There was a time when I would make sure that my plastics from my water, whatever, would go into the garbage cans because I really wanted to bless homeless. I wanted to make it available. Bless homeless people are looking. So I started, after seeing her this past year go around and take the plastic out of the garbage can, and she has a job, I decided, no, I'm not doing that anymore. I keep a Sparklets bucket that I filled with pennies. When those Sparklet water bottles, I filled with pennies, and to pay my rent one day. So now my goal is all my plastic, I'm recycling myself. All my change, I want change. I'm putting quarters and dimes and that. I got 3 of them going at the same time. One with pennies, one with dimes and quarters and stuff, and another one with everything. So it just depends on how I want to fill it. All 3 of them are halfway up so far. Just by me putting my coins in there. Because the one of pennies was $1,000.
Really?
Yeah. And I have a friend.
How long did it take you to get to that?
Once you start, it didn't take I think 6 months because I was aggressively doing it. You'd be surprised. I started
just
looking
drop
for
in.
Yeah, you know the law of attraction when you start doing something and then all of a sudden the stuff start coming to you. I started having more change than ever. I started nosing change. I started nosing stuff, picking it up and putting it in. Every day I'm putting in $3 or $4 worth of change that I get from the store or pennies that I find.
Right.
And actually, I have a friend, that was how her parents bought their home.
Really?
Her
From
father-
change.
From change. He would just
And I
drop
got
it in a
6
water
of those
cooler
bottles.
and just drop it in there and take it. And then a guy that I dated years ago, we wanted to go on a cruise. Now, we both could afford it, but we didn't do it that way.
Yeah.
So we said when we wanted to go on our cruise for over that year, we just dropped change in a bucket. And so we had, at the end of the day, we had about $3,000. We had enough for the cruise, $3,500.
Because the time's coming anyway. Just drop.
Yeah, because you just drop it because you don't.
Whenever blesses you, it'll be the right time.
Yeah.
Right. So
And that sounds so simple.
yeah, you just come in, and especially you can clear out your pocket, just drop it
'cause I
in,
do
clear
that
out your
all the
pocket.
time.
Every night.
Yeah, for us women, usually it sits at the bottom of our purses, right? So the places that you can do the stock is the apps. One is called Acorn, and it's for beginners, and your fees are between $1 and $3 a month. There's no minimum deposit. It attaches to your bank account, and you just tell how much you want it to come out of your account. Another one is called Betterment. It's an open account, long-term investing. Your fees is 0.25%, 0 minimum deposit. Alley is a stock trading, $4.95 a trade, which is nothing. And Swell, it's a socially responsible investing vehicle, which means it's probably investing in the environment. And your monthly fees are 75%. You do have a minimum deposit of $50, and Stash is for beginners, and they charge you $1 a month, and it's a $5 minimum. And that's a way you can create passive income out of money that is just hanging around in $1 or $2, or you tell it whatever you want, but it'll add up. If you say $1 every day, at the end of the day, it's not a lot, but you can add up.
That's very good.
It's a start. It's a start. And then the other is peer-to-peer lending. So, which means you're helping someone start their business or consolidate a debt or pay for medical care.
So that means if you're starting a business, you need about $15,000 to do it.
Right.
And I have it, then I can loan it to you that way.
Right. So it's actually peer-to-peer. There's a company called Lending Club. And here's how it works. You open an account and transfer as little as $1 or 1 cent minimum initial deposit, build your platform, and invest in ranges of loans in increments of as little as $25. Get paid, receive monthly payments as borrowers repay their loans. And 99% of the Lending Club investors with a $100 note portfolio can earn positive returns. And that's him. And reinvest, you get to reinvest your payments or withdraw. So that's a pretty easy thing. Good. And there's already somebody that's doing it. So it's not like you having to manage it.
And how do you set the interest rate?
So I guess the interest rate is our part of the lending club. So whatever the loan is for that particular person, then you're just investing in that loan. That
sounds like similar to the Jewish loan program.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, so I think that's a good one. I'm going to look into that one. Yeah, definitely. That could help. Investing with a robo-advisor, something called Wealthfront. Robo-advisors are leveling the investment playing field and allowing individuals to harness the same power and intelligence as the world's largest broker firm. They perform automatic artificial intelligence type tasks like portfolio allocation to diversify your risk, reduce your tax burden, and minimize trading fees. Plus, you can manage up to $10,000 without paying any fees.
Yeah, that one sounds too complicated for me.
Yeah, so it depends. And in Betterment, you get to go up to $100,000. Now, this is the one that we're doing, and this is anything on the internet. The internet affiliate is rich. Program. Yeah, so your affiliate marketing is either receiving commissions from anybody out there that has affiliate programs. And especially if Amazon is a big one. But there are some other groups that are, one is called Commission Factory and one is called Reward Style or Share a Sale. So I guess they have, and I'll have to go look and see what that looks like, but they must have stock. And then maybe you you sign up for different ones, and every time somebody, that's what it sounds like to me. Every time somebody buys it, then you get a piece of that action.
You know, I got an affiliate program too. People can make money on that.
Yeah, there you go. So you have to sell that piece of it.
Yeah.
So, and that, of course, on your blog, when you're blogging, or even on your internet, or anything that you're interacting with, you could be posting on social media. You can put the link, if you're referring something, you can put the link there, and they can just go straight there and go buy. So it doesn't necessarily have to be in a blog, but a blog is one of the ways. Buying a blog that's already making money.
That's a good point.
Somebody maybe can't
continue
their blog, so you can go to a place called Flipper and Empire Flippers, and you can browse through the available blogs and look at purchasing. So Armin actually has sold a blog, but he still gets a revenue. He gets generated revenue off of it, and then
it's like royalties.
It's like royalties on it, but he started it. He put everything there, and the person was to finish it. So flippers tend to have more established and profitable websites and blogs for sale. Expect to see prices ranging from $20,000 to over $2 million. So these are probably commercial sites that are for sale. The other is a YouTube channel. Don already told us last week how much money you can make on a YouTube channel, just standing there, just talking about what you do.
Yeah.
Like if you were doing your little mini videos on YouTube and you start getting traction and people people coming to see, and you already have your people. Now they can go and see a series of videos that you've done on the how-tos.
Right.
So you do your how-tos, they can become members, and you have a Patreon account.
And those are the highest paid, is how to do some of the highest paid on YouTube. How to sites.
And then create and sell your online course. Of course, that's my next process. I got all my equipment now. I'm ready. I just got to go into production and finding a platform that works for you. But then you're selling. So I know personally some folks that's making $50,000-$60,000 off of one course, and she sells it once a year. She sells the full course once a year, and then she breaks it down into 3 courses throughout the year, and duplicating that same amount.
Wow.
So, and then what you're doing is actually creating multiple fitness.
Well, you don't have to tell them yet.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Things for her business. Building that's what you're doing. Building your e-commerce site. So you're selling your own product, or you're selling other people's product. You're drop shipping. Drop shipping to me is like a no-brainer, because you may see something, and that's what they do on eBay. They drop ship. So you're ordering it from the manufacturer in China or wherever. They order it there. You're the seller, but it's coming from China.
Yeah.
And they drop ship it and put it in the mail. You're not even storing any product. That's a simple one.
Beautiful.
So you don't ever have to have physical product, and you really never come out of any money, because you're advertising it, you're linking it to your account, and then they're clicking on to buy. I've bought a lot of stuff that I know has been drop shipped, because I buy all my electronics from eBay, and I know that happens. And Shopify, you can do that. If you're a photographer or a graphic artist, selling your photos online, that is huge, especially. I've
been trying to get Zarian to do that.
Yeah, I've talked to him about it, because I'm coaching him right now. And so, because he's got photos. And sometimes it's hard to find photos for people that look like us.
That we want to do,
Yeah, so being able to do that, that's a great way to make money. And then, of course, dog walkers make money. You can have your own, if you love animals, plants. You can have an urban garden. You can create an urban garden and then sell the produce at your farmer markets. Right. Those are all things. Baking. I mean, a lot of people love to bake and love to design, and especially nowadays. You can do those really beautiful design cakes and pies and so forth, and you take them to a farmer's market and you sell them there. Some of those farmer markets do really, really well, and they're everywhere. So I think people just have to put their thinking caps on,
right? And
there is tons of ways for you to make money on the side and to build up enough, like with the affiliate marketing and the blogging, you actually can quit your job probably within, if you're consistent about your blogging and you're doing blogging twice a week, and your content is interesting enough for people to come on and read and stay there long enough for people to get the ads. And then once you do that, I would say in about 2 years, you have surpassed how much you're making annually, and you're doing it in a month. Because I literally have seen the spreadsheets, and in their second year, some of them were already making $20,000 a month. Multiply that by a whole year, that's more than the average individual makes in a
I definitely want this link. So if you can send this link to me, I'd really appreciate it. Now, is this the same link?
No, this was another link.
Oh.
There's tons of them out there because there's so many ways, and the internet gives you so many ways to make money. You just got to get creative.
You should put that on the BusinessZone website.
Yeah, and in fact, I will be putting on. So our website is actually becoming the blog, and the blog is what's going to start making money for the Business Zone.
Good,
so because I can, we drive in traffic and I have a multitude of the videos and the podcast as well as information. But I think people just have to look and say, don't think of it traditionally. Because and it was so funny when we had people in the class and, they're telling me what they did for a living, and then, okay, we're going to do a blog. And then I'm thinking, that blog is not going to, that's not going to work. Somebody was in bail bonds, and I don't really think you're going to write some exciting bail bondsmen, right?
Stories, man.
Well, stories you could, or insurance. So you got to be a little bit more creative, right?
Yeah.
But what is the things that you're interested in? So this one lady's like, I love to travel. Well, people love to read about traveling.
Yeah.
They love to see pictures about traveling. Right. They love experiences about traveling. Right now, there are a number of flight attendants that are talking about, and they blog about the experience of the people that they meet or come to an airport that have these unrealistic expectations, especially in today's climate. Yeah. So one lady's making just humongous amounts of money blogging about the passengers or the people that come through or get on a plane. That's amazing. And then you have, if you love to eat, everybody loves to eat. Right. So, a food blog is excellent. The diets, if you're not sure how to navigate or how to lose weight, or even anything in the fitness industry, because those are lifestyle blogs. Anything for children, animals, pets, travel, photography, music, reggae music, that would be a huge following. And all you have to do is do a blog about different artists that you like. Yeah. And the origination of reggae music or whatever. So anything to do with that and business, as long as you can engage them, and then you have to be kind of creative. What's her name? Anissa. She loves the class, but she does leadership. But she's very creative in how she does leadership. So
she's been coming.
Oh, she comes. She loves it. She absolutely loves it.
I knew she would.
Yeah. So she has quotes and she has books and she's teaching. So it's a perfect platform for her. And
that's very good. I like that, and I really want to check this out.
Yeah, so that's how you make money, guys. Yeah, and build up a portfolio that can help you leave your job.
I think what we talked about earlier will really help you guys to start seeing entrepreneurship differently, and you won't feel boxed in like what we talked about before. This is Women's Month, and I want you guys to really look into some opportunity. Now, in the spirit of Women's Month,
International Women's Month, so means that you come out your backyard and go get further.
I want to talk about an opportunity, a new approach that we're trying to launch here on the Business Zone. It's called the Contract Readiness Challenge. We're gonna put out this Contract Readiness Challenge we're gonna pick at least 5 businesses. 5 small businesses, whether you're construction, whether you're professional services, you name it. So what we're going to do, we're going to pick 5 businesses and we're going to follow you over 90 days. We're going to work with you over 90 days to make sure you're contract ready. We're going to have a checklist of items that you need in order to be contract ready. And we're going to go over it with you. At the end of that 90 days, you should be contract ready. We're going to have videos. Our camera guys are going to follow you. We're going to come to your place of business. You come to our place of business. We're going to have that recorded. And once we deemed that these businesses are contract ready, we'll bring them on the show. Mm-hmm. And we'll give you some publicity. And we also want to connect you with contract providers so that you can start seeking to do business with those contract providers. Because we're going to prove to these contract providers that you're actually contract ready. So that's our challenge to you. It's going to be ongoing. I spoke to those folks at USC today.
Oh, you did?
At the CBEST program. They love it.
Okay.
So I also...
So how do they register? Do they register on Small Biz Pro in order to get to us?
No. You're going to give them our number so they can call us through the Business Zone. And I want all of us to know what's going on with them.
Okay.
And then we're going to track and monitor them. We're going to put their information up there. Now, what we want to do also, we want to conduct interviews with some of the contract providers or the primes. So we're going to go there with our videos, say, what is it you're looking for in a subcontractor? What would make a contractor contract ready for you? Okay. What is it you need to see? And then based on what they're saying, we're matching it up with what we're doing for these small businesses.
Oh, okay. So we're creating that database of individuals that are ready, contract ready with those that have the contracts. Okay.
And then once we do that, and we have that track record, now we can go to the SBA. Now we can go to the lenders. Now we can go to the primes and say, hey, we've got proof here. You know, let's sponsor this program.
So they got to put their money where their mouth is.
They got to put their money where their mouth is. Because especially with the county, they're saying they got $3.9 billion. Right. And they're looking for all of these businesses. Well, we've just produced some contract-ready firms. So what's up?
Exactly.
That's what I mean?
I agree.
So that's what I think that the Business Zone next venture is going to be. It's a challenge.
Okay, a challenge for the people. Love that. We probably should do a video and do an online thing to get them connected so that it's a repeat so that they'll reach out to us. But in the meantime, if you guys are up to and want to partake and get certified, then you want to reach us at 323-906-7004.
Repeat it.
323-906-7004, or reach out to us at contact us at the Business Zone with CrystalandGilbert.com. That's contact us at Crystal and Gilbert. I'm sorry, the Business Zone with CrystalandGilbert.com, and email us and say you're on board, you want to find out information, and how do you get started, and we will reach back out to you. What's going on? I have a QuickBooks class started last week, but if you are interested in managing and staying on top of your financials, then is an opportunity. Tomorrow's the last day that you actually can come to the class.
How many people already signed up?
I have a small number. It's about 8 of us. Okay. And so it's you can reach me at 323-906-7004 or email me at cmitchell544@gmail.com and let me know you're interested. You can also go on my Facebook page. There's a flyer there. You can go to my LinkedIn page. There's a flyer. There's a flyer all over social media, and I'm all over social media.
You guys really need to take advantage of this class because Crystal, and she may not say this to you, but she is the only certified QuickBooks trainer in what? A 50-mile radius? Uh-huh. Within a 50-mile radius of Los Angeles.
That won't be for long.
Okay.
Well, actually, I'd love to have some more that I could teach, and then that way I could farm out some of the work because I can't do all the work myself. So now I'm just in the training. So if you guys are interested in being the trainer training the trainers, then I also do that as well, and you can participate in the class and learn that information. It's the exact same training process.
Excellent. Well, I don't think I have anything else coming up right now, but I have an event tonight to go to at 6 o'clock.
Oh, going to the GLAC?
So I'm going to the GLAC. Is it a gala?
Probably. I was supposed to go, but I have so much stuff to do.
You got lots of money to make, huh?
Yeah, I got lots of money. I have to stay on top of what I got to do.
You got to collect your money.
What you got going on, ma'am?
Well, you can see me here every Friday with these beautiful people. Also on Thursdays at 7 o'clock, we are doing Zumba every week now. So come out, let's have some fun. If you're interested in the diet plan, you want to train with one of the best on the planet, reach out to me, DM me, all social media, Dawn Strozier, DAWNSTROZIER, or email me, Strozier, STROZIER, _Dawn at Yahoo. Thank you.
And it works, everybody, because I've been doing it now for a little under a year. So it works. She works. I love it.
So we want to thank you all for tuning into the Business Zone. Business Zone is on every Friday from 3 to 5. And you can find us at morrismedialive.com, morrismedialive.com. You can tune in, log in, and then you can follow the show. Go to YouTube to our channel.
You can go to YouTube to the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert, and you'll find all the current shows there. You can
subscribe.
Subscribe. Please subscribe to build up our following. And you can also find us at morrismediastudios.com. And you can find us all over social media. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn. There is the Business Zone everywhere. Just Google us and you'll find us. We're there the top of the search engine optimization.
And we're out.
See you guys next week.
As a small biz pro, so we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, so we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah. Crystal Mitchell, do you have my business plan? Just review the pages of my marketing plan. Crystal Mitchell, do you have my business plan? Just review the pages of my marketing plan. Got my capability statement, yes, I'm ready to go. Got my balance sheet, my P&L, my statement of cash flow. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.